getting to be indoors on a cold day. That's all you get is that's the intro. Let's see if I have any decent music still. Here we have chill lo-fi hip hop, no copyright. Sounds like gamer music right there. I'll wait till it's 5-minute mark, and then I'll just start the VOD. In the meanwhile, I'll watch some of my own Tracer gameplay over again. So right here, I was looking for like a little bit of early damage, but I don't really think it's that useful. I probably could have just not, because I end up just being forced outs up here anyways. But they invest some resources, which is nice. This was around when I checked the profiles and saw the, I didn't need to drop there, that was a waste. Because it didn't ensure the kill. So basically all I'm doing here is preventing Hanzo from getting this angle and then poking at their support to draw a resource. I got really lucky there that he didn't land his shots and missed his flashbang. I wasn't watching for the swap or the pick there. Now I return to my top position. So I'm just looking for poke here, but I don't know. So I shouldn't have shot there for sure. I should have blinked behind the building. But I think my mistake here was actually moving in. I think I should have just stayed in the back line. Because I see that our Rhine dies. And I go in on their Ana, and I think that's fine, but I shouldn't have followed the cart and gone to the mini. I should have gone backwards. Well, then again, their Zen was respawning still. I think I just need to play a little safer, because I might have been able to get alive and like stay alive in their backline over here. Or around here. And be able to re-engage more easily when the team comes back. Well, we're at the 5-minute mark, so I guess I'm gonna start Recently's VOD. It's Gold Tracer, so kind of around where I am, I would assume, like somewhere in gold, but see, I'm actually a high gold to low plat tracer now, ha ha ha. Make sure that my audio is loud enough. Okay, let's see. So, kind of the deal with Tracer. So first of all, Tracer is really hard to play at low ranks. I'm just gonna be honest. Like, I speak from experience. I decided to pick up Tracer when I was in mid gold because she was one of my favorite heroes to play like really early on. And I wanted to become good with her because I was just terrible at Tracer. So I sat there grinding Tracer for like a season. I dropped down to like 1900-ish range on my main account. And then eventually moved back up to mid gold. And then stay there for a bit. And it's hard. Because you have a lot of people playing things like Junkrat and Torb, of course, and Pharah. And then you have a lot of people picking McCree. And not that many people playing Zenyatta. A lot of people playing Moira. But, at the same time, though, she's probably one of the hardest carry heroes if you actually get good enough to play her and get that value. So, it takes a disproportionate amount of skill, but that disproportionate amount of skill translates in really well, and it will pay off because she holds up at further ranks. Like, if you learn to duel people in tryhard free-for-alls or whatever, that applies in gold, it'll apply in plat, it'll apply in diamond, it'll apply in masters, it just keeps going up the chain. So, like, she's a strong investment as a hero. Good choice on the Overwatch League skin and the Golden Guns. So with your comp, you're basically playing a brawl, except with the Tracer and Pharah. So the Pharah is basically out of place, and I don't really know what she's doing. She doesn't contribute anything to the team, really. But hopefully she's okay. You're probably going to be looking for soft angles to help support the brawl and keep people kind of herded in, and look where the brawl is pushing people, because if you can pinch those angles, you'll be able to get a lot of value. Because, like, for example, if your Rhine is going into their Rhine, and then like, assuming they have a Rhine, their tank, like, we don't know their comp yet in theory, but like, you can attack their backline or whatever and draw in a lot of resources, and that can significantly give your frontline an edge, right? Because you don't have to be shooting the same targets as your main unit. You just need to be achieving the same goals as them, right? Fortunately, with Zen being very good, a lot more people have been playing Zen, which is really fun to farm on as Tracer if you get good enough tracking. Lots of Anas as always. So the enemy team has both. They also have Zarya, who's, in my opinion, a pretty easy target for Tracer. You have to consider that she might bubble your pulse bombs, but beyond that, I usually actually like to stick the Zarya because you can pretty easily just force her bubble, and if she doesn't, you can just, like, she's a big target, big enough that you can just track her and kill her. You have to watch out for their Kree. You have to watch out because you're not going to get much healing. You don't have, like, Zen Orb or Tracer or Brig packs, so you're probably going to have to rely on the health packs. D.Va's a little annoying. Have to watch out for that when doing bomb. So your main things are check Kree, check Zen and Ana, and yeah, probably those things. So you have a couple options here. I like going straight to point like that. Because so your two options, you either have point or you have right side, basically. Because like this is the most, these are the two relevant angles, right? So you have this angle, which is always an angle no matter where the fight is taking place, because it's all the way on the edge of the map. And then you have the middle of the map, which is an angle if the enemy team is engaging here, which is where they usually are, or if they're engaging here, you blink over here. So like you don't want to be playing from here because it's just not very useful and it's pretty predictable. But you can play, but this front gives you good scouting and gives you access to the deep, deep angles. So I would say it's a good spot to head. I wouldn't poke there because it's not going to get you reasonably much damage. And the bigger thing is it alerts the enemy team to you. So if their McCree had looked over there at higher elos, you'll get punished for that. Like, as in, but like the thing is Tracer with Tracer attention is like her currency, so it's pretty hard to like. You have to be very careful to not be drawing attention to yourself when it isn't necessary. This is good. Nice kill. Take the duel. Nice. Yeah, you have to watch the duel mechanics a little more there. I felt like it was a little kind of stiff because you should have won and you should have been able to win that duel with the McCree. And I would just say like just grind more, try hard free for all and stuff for that. Play against more practice bots, try strafe aim trainers, get used to like knowing exactly where the target is when you're blinking, because you should have been able to get that kill. Frankly, so I was admiring your mental fortitude with dueling the Zen because you didn't blink at all there, and I think I probably would have burnt one or two there and not had enough for the McCree because that Zen wasn't actually good enough to need the blinks. But okay, birds. It's just my parakeets as usual. It's fine. You could actually just blink melee that. Like you can go way aggressive on this Reinhardt. He's literally shield botting. He's not gonna do anything. Be careful. You're exposing to multiple angles. Nice. Ooh, yeah, that could have been sweaty. I wouldn't bother. There's too many people there. I don't really like this. There's no one to follow up on the damage even if you get the pulse bomb. And you're poking here without having... Like, you already have pulse bomb, so it doesn't even matter. So, like, you use your blinks and you use your resources, and you're giving a little bit of ult charge still. But, see, now you don't have recall to get back out. So that was a huge pulse bomb, but a flawed execution, because you would have gotten the same pulse bomb if you hadn't just waffled around in the back line using all your blinks and your recall and all that. Like, just because it had a good outcome doesn't make it a good play. It was a good pulse bomb. Like, it was a good opportunity to look for one there. But I think you had executed the whole preparation phase for that play completely wrong. Poke the diva. I like this. It's annoying that she has her armor still, but I don't feel like it's more productive to go into their backline right now when diva is literally feeding. But you need to get the kill here. You could probably just leave her even, but... Hit her with the blink melee. Yeah, like your tracer looks solid, but it doesn't look very like too tracery right now. I feel like you could be way more like, yeah, it's more like a mechanical custom thing, like getting more used to the mechanics, but I like this. Good kill on Ana. I like going on more here. Yeah, you can just, yeah, leave it. Beautiful. Yeah, so far, only things that are like particularly coming to my attention are your movement looks kind of stiff, and your decision making for when to go in is a little off. I could call it that you're just going in too early, but I think there's also a point of like when are you going to get value, and at the same time, of course, you're going to get value when your team is doing things too. So they're kind of like concepts that are intrinsically meshed together, if that makes sense. I don't know what your Lucio's doing with you. Eh. Kind of fine, but I think you could also just take the deeper angle. I don't actually like following ball here because you could also be drawing Junkrat's fire it's a lot more risky, but it's a lot higher value, and then you just ignore the Ana. So I think the value play would have been to stay here, because yes, they have the pillar thing. Like, you have the pillar thing for cover, and yes, you're further away. But against a Moira, Ana, Junk, Ryan, you're probably not going to be landing any kills. So you're dealing in attention and threat, because if they don't look at you, you can kill the Junkrat or you can kill the Ana. So the reason I say that you'd want to be back here is largely because of the attention split. So what I mean by that is an Ana can like position right here, and they can see this high ground and they can see this spot. But there's no way that they can look here and look here at the same time. Like, it's just impossible for them. Same with Junkrat. So like the problem with being right here is that like if you look over at this Junk, like he can just kind of, well, he's not glancing over much, but like it's not taking him very much effort to have an eye on both of these and be able to see you, hit you with that mine, force your thing, force your recall, and then Ana is able to hit you with the sleep here. And like the problem is by going here, it's a very soft off angle, and that's fine as Tracer, except first of all, if you're not going to be that threatening, then you need to be in a position where you're more threatening. And a soft off angle is less threatening than a hard off angle, because it's easier to dedicate resources to stopping a soft off angle because it's just less aggressive. Oh, sorry, I'm still kind of tired. Same. So yeah, I think I would have liked you considering that you needed the more like considering the attention of where people are looking here, because I think you could have been a lot more effective with drawing it in a different direction, or maybe from like coast or something if you had wrapped around that way. Of course, it's way harder to play Tracer on this map because you have pretty limited options. I don't really like that because the ball hadn't noticed you, and now you can't kill the Ana, because like right here, this is like kind of a trigger discipline thing. Because see, the Ana was backing up and the ball hadn't noticed you. If you just hadn't shot him, I almost guarantee that you would have had a chance to go for the Ana instead. Now you know that there are tracers there. Yeah, just back out. Don't take the dual man. You don't have any blinks right now. Yep. Gotta take coast. Yeah, you're not doing a single blink melee here. Like, so tracer duels are all about landing the blink melees. Like, very significantly. It provides a pretty massive edge. Maybe not all about it, but like there's a whole art to tracer dueling, and that's like something that you'll have to pick up from tryhard free for all and stuff like that, because like tryhard free for all you get so many tracer players, some being pretty high ranked. So you get like you can't really beat that in terms of experience. It'll make you at least as good or better than all the tracers that you'll face in gold or plat. Like I have yet to meet a tracer who reliably beats me on tracer duels in gold and plat. Yeah, your team's lost the fight, just leave it. So now you have Pulse Bomb, you have to consider what to do with it. I would say look for Junk. He's a little bit of an easier target than Ana. Ana's a good one too, of course, but I wouldn't bother with that, because now they know where you are, and they are able to get out alive anyways, and you don't actually have recall now for when you want to hit the Pulse Bomb. Yeah. That, like, I think you wasted so much resources there with the... I think it was fine to go in aggro on the Ana there, but you, like, I think it was the issue of used recall on a bunch of blinks trying to duel a tracer that you didn't really need to duel. And then, I think you shot a little early at the Ana. I'll have to see there. Yeah, so you need to prioritize those health packs. You could have had control of that health pack and just sat on top of it until she shot you, and then suddenly you've taken out that wild card. Like, you threw this fight by letting her get the health pack. And because you used recall first, there's no way you could win it anyways. She just wasn't confident enough in her play to finish you off. Or she had a bad recall or something. So yeah, I don't think you should have gone in deeper there, because she naded herself. That wasn't something that you could like get in and clean up. So unless you get the one clip where like that quick burst damage, I think you really want to be staying at that range or moving back and just keeping them from using White Room instead of looking for the aggro dive. I would have rather you actually went for a Pulse Bomb here too, because that's a lot safer. And note that if you had your recall up a little faster, it would have been a little more patient. Like, because like a common tip for tracers, just do not go in aggro without recall. And for the most part, that's, yeah, it holds true. Like occasionally you can if you need to make a big play, but generally you should not be going in aggro without recall, because tracer only has 150 HP, and it's just putting it all up to blinks is too poor of an option. So I think that you should have I think you should have waited for recall, or not burned it in the first place, or been a little more passive and not gone in aggro period, or gone for a quicker aggro with the Pulse Bomb and blink. Like, Tracer always has so many options. That's why she's such a high skill cap hero, and she has so much mechanical demand and so much positioning demand. So like, there's not really as much of an easy answer here, but I can kind of lay out these cards in front of you, like lay out these options. I think that's like more of like a decisiveness thing. Like, be decisive if you want to commit to a target and make sure that you have the resources to kill them. And if you don't want, like, you have to weigh if that target is worth the resources. Like, killing a tracer before the enemy fight is not really a high value trade. And then like killing the Ana before the fight, maybe at that point it's valuable enough that you might as well just use Pulse Bomb. It's fine. I don't really love it. Like, it works because his shield was low, but yeah, you need to be paying attention to where that Junkrat was positioned. Like, you're sitting here in the middle of the fight, and I don't really like it, because the problem is that like, yeah, it can be really tempting to get into that, like, brawly, blink around, clean up mid-fight when things get really dicey. But your team has people on the point, and you can just always blink onto the point briefly to hit it as Tracer to refresh the overtime. I think I would rather have you on the outside here, because then you have sightlines on things like that Junkrat, this Tracer, all that, and you have a little more cover on this point, specifically too. Because once again, it's like, that's like that whole idea of the off angles and the deep off angle versus the hard off angle, is that by going in the middle here, you can't pay attention to these people and these people at the same time, or this person and this person. But if they're here and they're here because you're outside right here, then suddenly you can pay attention to significantly more people at once. You can maybe blink in, finish off the Ana, blink back, go over here, take out the Moira, take out the junk. Like, I don't think it was clutchable necessarily, but I think that there's like a lot to be said for having that outside the fishbowl positioning. Mm. So I like this spot a lot for, so like with Tracer, once again, you have the Mega Pack flank, then you have the Coast flank. The Coast one is a lot grittier, and you end up having a lot harder time fighting here because of the narrower paths, and it's like the softer angle. That also lets you exert more point pressure if the fight was happening out here. But I also like this one because, like you can catch people in the rotation. I think you could have moved in a lot more aggressively there, because you just let her get the free rotation around the corner. I think you could have gone in for one more blink to get closer. Okay, yeah, now you back out because it's a 2v1. Yep, keep her distracted. You don't have to go for the kill. You just have to distract her. Good cleanup. Good cleanup. Nice. You might be able to get the kill here. I wouldn't be scared of it, man. Go for it. Or, well, now that you know that they're regrouping, no. But, I think you still could have maybe gone for Egger on that tomb. I don't think you had to, but... Look at the Doom, man. Use more threatening. Both to you and your team. Yeah, we win the duel. Mega health pack control. Beautiful. Yeah, just back out. You already got the kill that matters more. Because without their Doom, their team doesn't have any reliable firepower. You could go for a stick here. Yeah, I don't mind that. Like, you miss it, but like that's just the name of the game as Tracer. It's like one of the hardest ults to use, and it's worth it to try, I would say. Unlucky that you couldn't get the Mega there, but yeah, just back out. Unlucky that you got pursued there. Let's see what you could have done. I feel like you didn't actually have to use the 2 blinks there. You could have used 1 blink, and then you shouldn't have gone for a deeper blink after that. Like, you do like a duelist blink in, I think you should have just backed out there. Because you keep going further and further into the, like, towards their team, but you don't have resources, you don't have recall, you can't go aggro. Like, you should have just backed back towards point, I think. Because, like, even if the Tracer hadn't been there, even just the ball would have been able to move back in. Hey, Dufly, thanks for the follow. Yeah, so team has lost the fight. You can stall for a bit. It's probably not going to do much. I don't really think it's worth it. You have 150 HP, so at least they're not getting like much ult charge, but you just end up dying, so it doesn't really do anything. You could have maybe gotten in a backline position or something instead, but it's not a big deal. I would press this advantage. Yeah, grab Mega, and then press her, press her. Okay, now you don't have many blinks, so I hope you don't just teleport in. Yeah, chip at the ball, he's feeding. Focus the dangerous targets. Focus targets based on threat. Yeah, so you're getting slept because you're kind of just waffling around in the doorway, but nice stick. But now you're in the middle of the fight. This is kind of scary, man. I kind of want, yeah, play near the edge again. You're getting lured in. Nice. Yeah, you could have blink melee'd her there before she blinked in again. And that's what happens when you're in the middle of a fight, man. Like, I want you, like you keep blinking back into the middle. I want you, like, here, blinking to here, blinking to here, blinking to here, maybe. Like, just, like, playing around these doors. Or if you're here, blink to here, and then go out here. Like, you need to be playing this cover and playing these doors, because the more and more that you're kind of just spending time in the inside the fishbowl, the more likely that you are to just get pummeled from the outside. So, like, I want to watch this from the above view here. So you see this, the team engagement. Your Moira, or your sim feeds. Their ball feeds though, so it kind of evens out. Actually, it's a miracle that your team somehow wins this, or almost wins it even. Doom kind of fed, but you got lucky there, because I think you needed to blink back away from him. You almost let him and Ana kill you. But see, like, you're in the middle here, and like I like that aggro stick and then returning to the doorway. Like, this is good. But then you need to be going for that mini. Like, I don't know why you're blinking further into the point here. It's a dodger, because if she was smart, or if Moira was smart, you'd just be dead right there. You could go on Ana. Yep, go for her, go for her. Yeah, so that was great. Now just stay here. Yeah, so like, I don't know why you're blinking in more aggro there. Only here for the birds. I respect that, man. Yeah, I have 4 of them. I have pictures of them on my Discord server. I think I have my link somewhere in my Twitch, but yeah, they're in the background of like all of my streams. Yeah, it's 4 parakeets. I have a white one named Chives, a bright, like a very vivid bluish green and yellow one named Tweety. And then she has 2 daughters. One is white and blue, and its name is Sprite. And then the other one is like a paler greenish blue and yellow, and it's and her name is Willow. They're all female ones. We got them from a family friend who couldn't take care of them anymore, so they bring a lot of joy to my life. Sometime I'll have to bring them onto camera. But yeah, just recently, make sure that you're like keeping that discipline in terms of like knowing when going into extra aggro is actually going to be getting value. Taking the duel. This is kind of just scrappy mid-fight. Go for the... Oh, beautiful stick. That was kind of filthy. You can push the Ryan aggro here. You're kind of waffling around in the middle though, which I still don't love. Yeah. So, let me check real quick that my Twitch profile has my Discord link. But, I have a channel in my Discord where I accept VODs. They're not, they're just free and stuff, so. Yeah, if you just hop in the Discord, there's like a VOD submissions, spot, and you can just toss down a code there. I'm probably only doing this one today just because I'm pretty tired. Like, I try and stream like every Saturday, but it kind of usually I do like one or two and some mix. I do it like after or during my news route because I deliver newspapers on Saturdays. So it's a little inconsistent, but I'll definitely get to it. I'm mostly trying I'm mostly doing it so I can keep my edge with reviewing stuff while I'm mostly focusing on school right now. Because my business classes have been pretty busy. Yeah, you're going on a little aggro there just recently. Like, make sure that you're watching to, like, when your team actually needs the engage. I'm, like, really victim to this, too, as I kind of get into that bloodlust state of, oh, it's final fight, let me go in aggro. And it's poor. Oh, yeah, you need to recall that. Don't hold that. This soldier is really threatening. I think you need to be dealing with him first. Like, you go in aggro here, and oh really? You're also a business major? Nice. What are you majoring in any like specific subfield or just general? But yeah, I think you would have been better off waiting for them to engage and then waiting to see and go for the play here on that soldier rather than trying to move in on the aggro point. I think like that would have been a lot better. Nice, general. Yeah, I'm majoring in human resources management, so probably a minor in information systems, but I haven't done the actual paperwork for it yet. Fun times. Yeah, so I think that my main two things here. Let me whip out my notebook so I can write down my couple of ideas and pick the best ones here. So we had put it right beneath my HR notes. Okay, so we had watching aggro flow. We have practicing dual mechanics. But that also just comes with time, so it's like a little less necessary per se. But it's nice. Agroflow. Definitely Agroflow actually, because that ties in with Blink and recall management too. Let's see. Pulse bomb targets are alright. Initiation value, that also kind of ties in with the Agroflow. Okay, so I'm just gonna give you that one thing then, plus like the kind of side thing of the dual mechanics. So like your main priority is watching Agroflow. So what I mean by that is you're looking to get a valuable value from your aggression basically. And taking aggression at the right time. So yes, that's very vague, especially because that's like 90% of Tracer's kit. But to get a little more specific, I want you specifically watching for when you should not be going in. Because like you had a lot of times when you're like kind of early on the trigger or whatever, shooting people when you don't need their attention yet, shooting people when you can't get the kills, and like looking for these plays that can't happen with your amount of resources. So like I very specifically want you to make sure to be trying to wow, I just saw like 50 meaningless fillers. Try to not go in when you're not going to get value from going in. Like that's like it's kind of like like I said, it's a bit vague, but at the same time, I think it's a pretty valuable thing that you can easily watch for. Because like for example, if I have enemy tracer looking at me here, and I know a fight's about to start, and that my team isn't that threatened by the tracer, I can kind of just like avoid her. Like I can like I can take the duel if I really want, but it's not like that necessary, right? Meanwhile, on the flip side, if I know that we have a Zen and like a Zen Mercy backline and their tracer is pretty good, I might want to take this duel. If I don't know if I know I'm not gonna win it, I don't think I want to. But if I know I can survive it and at least like get out safely, then I might take it again, because then I can do some damage, force them out so that they're not on my backline, and then I can also get out. So you have these options here. And then so like it kind of ties into not wanting to engage before fights, and not wanting to engage during fights in situations where you're kind of just gonna get pummeled. So kind of this idea of not engaging in where you can't get the value is the same idea of like don't go into the middle of the fight. It might feel like you're gonna get more value, you're not going to, because you'll just get run over. Oh, I missed the stick. And then on the side, I feel like you could practice your dual mechanics more, because like it felt like you were a little less familiar with it. I don't know how much you play Tracer per se, but I think you play her some. But in general, like I would recommend going into a tryhard free for all. So like my 3 stages of Tracer practice are so I have practice range, of course, which is kind of like just what I was doing, where you just kind of you're going around looking for getting comfortable with the movement. See, because like you're looking to get quick target acquisition. Like mine isn't great, that's why I'm a plat tracer, but kind of just to show what you're trying to do. And like like obviously their movement isn't very advanced, but it's something, right? And then kind of the next stage up is strafe trainer. I think you have the code, if I remember right, but here's a code of it if someone needs it. MY7CJ. So what it does is it just in workshop, and it basically has a bunch of visual noise on the characters here. It might lag with my Streamlabs open too, but you have things shooting at you, but you don't take damage, and everything has pretty realistic strafing. So you can basically just sit here trying to get kills and stick pulse bombs. Of course, I don't even stick them half the time, but you can practice your blink melees here, which are pretty fundamental. You can practice your just overall tracking, all of that. And like this one's pretty good. I personally prefer it to using something like Kovacs or Aim Trainer, largely just because it's in the Overwatch engine and with like the closest movement that you're gonna get to the actual thing, obviously. And then lastly, you kind of have like the third horseman of the apocalypse here, and that's the tryhard free-for-all. Okay, well there's no lobbies open right now, but Okay, well, there's no lobby open right now, but you almost always have lobbies open. It's probably because it's still kind of early in the morning here on the NA servers, but there's probably some open on EU servers. Um, Tryhard Free For All is actually really good. You'll sometimes run into like Overwatch League players or contenders players. Like I've run into Agilities, Blase, and Shredlock before, all on DPS and stuff. If you aren't familiar with Tryhard Free For All, it's just normal deathmatch, but you have some like optimizations and hero bans and stuff to help make it more competitive and quicker and more effective training. But that stuff is so good for getting ready to duel better players than you. With that, I think I'll probably call it a stream so that I can lay on the couch a bit and watch some anime before I go back out into the cold. Thank you for coming, Duflier. I still don't know how to pronounce it, but I appreciate the viewing. It helps because it's always weird talking to myself sometimes, but Dufli. Okay, good to know. Good to know. But yeah, thanks for coming. And with that, I will call this a stream. I'll upload this on YouTube at some point, and yeah.